team physician Dr. Matt Roth joins me here in the broadcast booth now. And Doc, before we get into my attempt at trying to come back from a concussion, who knows if I'd be cleared to be up here or not. But before we get to that, take us through that process, because we know with Woothridge, you could be cleared maybe a little bit sooner, but yeah, it's kind of the return to play protocol is just so important, isn't it?
Yep, it's something we came up with a number of years ago. We knew the importance of concussions and the importance of concussions on athletes, and we took a step-by-step process to get them back. We want to make sure all their symptoms are improved, and then we'll take it day by day to gradually increase the exertion level, the activity level, to kind of expose that brain and that heart system to make sure everything's back to normal.
All right, well, a couple of weeks ago I sat down and took the test, the one that you use on the computer. Now, athletic trainer Brad Frederick was great about it. He talked it over while I was taking the test to kind of tell you how it all went. Let's hear from Brad on this return to play, and then we'll get your thoughts, Doc, in just a little bit.
Basically, we'll do the evaluation in the training room here, in the locker room. Decided that he officially does have a concussion. Go over the symptoms that he may or may not have, and once we get to that point, we'll within the first 24 to 48 hours, we'll do the impact test on the computer. That way it's documented. This part's doing an immediate memory test. It'll show a group of words on the screen, and then it'll ask him to repeat them. It'll mix in words that were not shown, just to see again with that memory of what Matt has. We require all the players, and the league requires all the players to take this before they play in their first game. And then that way, if they do have an injury, we can compare this to his original results. You know, the use of testing programs that are computer-based, like the Impact here, is made it, a lot easier for myself, team physicians, to know that we're safely returning athletes back to the ice, back to the field, or whatever it may be. It's an extra piece to the puzzle, but just to know cognitively that their brain is functioning, that their reaction times are back to normal, especially in a fast-paced sport like hockey, where it's everything is based off of what the puck does, what the other player does with the puck.
Wetherich's helmet is off. He got Marshall's helmet off. They tie each other up in close, and down to the ice they go. Oh, my. Wetherich hit his head on the ice.
Basically, when it comes back to the return to play, it's physician-based. They've got to give the okay. Once we have a player that has a concussion, there's multiple conversations that happen between myself, the player, and the team physician, Matt Roth, on kind of alerting him to how the athlete is doing on a day-to-day basis. Some days that'll be great. Other days they won't be doing so well, so we'll have to kind of back up the return to play a day to the point where they were having success and they were able to do their exercise, able to do the activities away from the ice.
Well, Brad did a great job there explaining that whole process on the return to play, Doctor. And we showed you there the hit that took Austin Wuthrich out for basically since December the 20th until last night when he was cleared to play. Yep. It's quite a process you guys have put together now to get players ready to go again.
It is. Obviously, the concussions get a lot of attention media-wise, and major motion pictures kind of based on it. So it's something we take very seriously. The protocol allows us all to be on the same page, whether it's the players, whether it's the athletic trainers, Brad and myself, and the coaches as well. So we all know what to do, what to expect. We just take it day by day and graduate a little bit each day.
Now, I will say it, I'll admit it, I did not do very well, but there's a reason, because the fact that, Brad, obviously you could see there talking and going over the whole thing there, so you're not concentrating nearly as much, which kind of simulates a little bit on a concussion, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Those distractions, those are the same ideas that we're getting on this kind of computer-based kind of test there. If things aren't firing on all cylinders, if there's other things kind of interfering with that process, it slows it down, it interferes with the results.
And then a number of times, Brad kind of talked about it there, you take one early when everybody's healthy and ready to go, and then you can compare as they get better, right?
It's comparing apples to apples, so it allows us to compare. That's just one part of it. Some people can do really well from that part, but the brain's so complex. They might just have some balance issues. They might just have some symptoms, headache. So we got to wait for all those to clear, not just the computer test to get better. So it's a complex process.
And it is no joke, very serious stuff here with the way we've seen how the concussion and the concussion protocols developed, hasn't it?
Yeah, we just want to make sure that the brain is completely healed every way that we know possible to test that. Brain's completely healed before we put them back on the ice and risk them potential further injury.
And we've talked about this not just for pro athletes. I know you and I had a conversation during the summer over the ballpark about even younger players as well, high school athletes and below suffering from concussions and the warning signs of that.
Yeah, these guys are pretty well versed. They know the importance of it. They know the reason to make sure things are healed before they get back out there. The younger kids, sometimes it's a little bit harder. They want to get it back out there, and it means everything for them to play, and they don't realize quite the importance of this on their long-term health.
I appreciate you coming up tonight. Team Doc, Dr. Matt Roth, great job as always. Thanks so much for coming up.
Hey,
and
thanks for having me.
does such a great job keeping everybody healthy on this team.